You type a question, and bam! Like magic, a perfect answer just appears on your screen. Generative AI feels, well, it feels effortless, kind of like a superpower, right? But behind that digital curtain, there's a whole other story. A story of hidden costs, social, ethical, and believe it or not, physical. So today, let's pull that curtain back and really look at the true price of a single prompt.
So that's the big question, isn't it? What does AI really cost? When we use these tools, what are we actually paying? And I'll tell you, it goes way beyond a monthly subscription fee. It involves our data, our own biases, and a surprisingly huge amount of the planet's physical resources.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to demystify how AI actually works. Then, we'll dive into the biases that get baked right into its code. After that, we'll uncover its massive environmental footprint. This one's a biggie. Then we'll weigh the benefits against all these costs, and finally, we'll figure out how we can all use AI a lot more responsibly.
Okay, first up, to really get a handle on AI's costs, we have to get one thing straight: what it's doing. It's not magic. Nope, it's math.
This right here, this definition, really gets to the heart of it. AI isn't thinking or understanding the way a person does. Not at all. It's just a really, really sophisticated pattern-matching machine. It chews through unbelievable amounts of data, all the text, images, and code you can imagine, and it learns the statistical probability of what word or pixel should come next. In short, it's just making a really good guess. It's predicting, not comprehending.
And here's the really crucial part you've got to remember. AI is a product made by people. Humans decide what data to feed it, how to label that data, and what the algorithm is supposed to do. Because of that, every single AI system is like a mirror, reflecting the perspectives, the priorities, and yeah, even the prejudices of the people who built it.
In that human element, it leads us directly to one of AI's biggest hidden costs: algorithmic bias. See, when the data in AI learns from his bias, the AI's output is going to be biased too. The scary part is, it often amplifies those biases on a massive scale.
And look, these aren't just hypotheticals. This is real-world stuff. Amazon had a hiring tool, trained on a decade of mostly male resumes, that actually started penalizing applications that mentioned things like women's chess club. Or think about predictive policing software, trained on biased arrest data. It just created this feedback loop, sending more and more patrols into minority neighborhoods. These systems don't just reflect our bias, they automate it and they scale it, encoding it into decisions that affect real people's lives.
But the costs aren't just social. Oh no. There is an invisible, physical price tag attached to every single AI prompt you type. This is the stuff we rarely ever think about, but it is so important.
This quote from the AI Literacy Framework really says it all, doesn't it? The world of AI seems so virtual, so cloudy, but it has a massive, real-world footprint. Every single calculation, every generated image, every little piece of code requires physical infrastructure that is just guzzling resources. Let's just break that down for a second. First, energy. Training just one major AI model can use as much electricity as over 100 US homes do in an entire year. That's wild. Second, resources. Every single one of those high-powered computer chips needs mined minerals like cobalt and lithium, which are limited. And then there's the water. Now get this. A simple chat of maybe 10 to 50 prompts with an AI, that can drink up half a liter of fresh water just to cool the data centers running it. When you add it all up, the virtual world of AI has a very real and very significant carbon footprint.
So this brings us to the core dilemma, right? We have this tool that can do incredible things, but it comes with a seriously steep price, both for society and for the environment. So we have to consciously stop and ask ourselves, is the benefit actually worth the cost?
You know, let's put them side by side. On the one hand, AI is fantastic at automating boring tasks and finding patterns in data that we humans might totally miss. It's an amazing assistant. But on the other hand, it has no ethical compass, no real-world understanding, and as we've just seen, its appetite for natural resources is absolutely huge. Using AI isn't a simple yes or no question. It's a trade-off we have to think about for each and every task. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section. How do we navigate all these trade-offs? How can we be responsible, ethical users of AI? This flowchart is actually a great little guide for thinking this through. It forces you to stop and ask why you're using AI. For instance, are you using it to help you get started on an assignment? The chart says, sure, but with some rules.
check with your teacher, and definitely double-check the work. Are you asking it to just do the entire assignment for you? Well, that's a clear no. It's all about using it as a tool, not as a replacement for your own thinking.
So it all really boils down to this four-step process. First, assess the task. Is this really a job for AI, or does it need human creativity and judgment? Second, consider the costs we've been talking about. Third, and this is a big one, always double-check the output for errors, for things it just made up, what we call hallucinations, and for any hidden biases. And finally, just be transparent. Set your use of AI just like you would any other source.
So we'll end here with this final thought. AI is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not a magic wand, and it is definitely not free. It comes with real-world consequences. So the next time you're about to write a prompt, just take a second, pause, and ask yourself, given the social and environmental price tag, is this particular task actually worth the cost?